Welcome back, Shalligators. We have some exciting, depressing updates from the world of Jennifer Lopez and her fiance, who looks like a boiled hot dog, Alex Rodriguez. Now, the last time we talked about them, 72 hours ago, word on the street was they broke up in the wake of his FaceTime, sexting, cheating, whatever kind of scandal with Southern Charm celebrity Madison LeCroy. Just to recap, quick recap, a man who looks like this left a woman who looks like this. Or this person. Oh my fucking God. Men are such trash. Such trash. But we know that. What we don't know is why we're hearing about Jennifer Lopez again, in that she is saying, we're working through some things. That's the official statement. We're working through some things. And then some photos popped up of them kissing and laughing in the Dominican Republic, seemingly letting everybody know that they're still very much together. Everything's fine. Why would a woman who, again, looks like this, put up with this kind of bullshit? I am pretty sure I know exactly what is going on behind the scenes. I know how someone like JLo thinks. And I can call these celebrity outcomes pretty darn good. I called this. I'm going to tell you what actually is going on, why she's playing it like this, what her ultimate end game is, and most importantly, what we can learn. How can we preserve our dignity, control the narrative, and come out smelling like a rose when a man does us dirty? We're going to get into it. But before we do, just want to remind you to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO. Also, if you would like a little video shout out for you, a friend, get a question answered, some pep talks, head over to Cameo and you can book a little video with me. Or if you have a longer question you want answered, head to my website, shallonlester.com. You can submit a question or an Instagram review. I can tell you what message your social media is sending out because it's super important. Also, be sure to sign up for Flaze. It's our uncensored platform. Not like OnlyFans, but it's uncensored and ad-free, and we have videos on there from how to give a blowjob, how to get over an ex, how to make friends, and of course, all of Evil Week. So head on over there. It's a whole lot of fun. What's not fun is this fuck shit with Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod. Did you know A-Rod is 45? I thought he was like 56. If you told me he was like 53, 54, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. Not that he's unattractive, but he's unattractive. And Jennifer Lopez is 51 and will live to be 151 because she's clearly some sort of demigod. So there's that. And yes, again, quick recap. He cheated on her. Now, Madison LeCroy, celebrity Madison LeCroy, was apparently slid into A-Rod's DMs, and then they FaceTimed a bunch, and she told anyone caught standing still that she was FaceTiming A-Rod. We have talked about women like this before who get off, not on getting a guy, but getting another woman's guy, right? Imagine how it would boost your ego if you were a garbage person to be like, I got a man to leave Jennifer Lopez for me. I don't need to do things like that. My ego is where it should be. So are yours. I have a lot of sympathy for girls who are put in the side chick position. I've been there myself. I don't have any sympathy for ones who are proud of it. How do we know Madison's proud of it? Wait, Shallon, come on, you're being so hard on her. Cut to, Madison is in the Bahamas with whatever photographer she hired to take and then leak these pictures. Showing her ass, frolicking on the beach, not a care in the world. A woman with a modicum of dignity and self-respect, or even respect for this woman whose affianced situation she has now put in jeopardy, would lay a little low. She'd lay a little low for a week. Not this bitch. She got on a plane ASAP, packed all of her fabletic bikinis and got right to it. She's milking this for all that she can. So to me, her story that I didn't say anything, no, nothing happened, total horseshit, just by seeing how she reacts when she's in the eye of the storm. Most quality people don't want to be known as a mistress. They don't want that for themselves. They want other things for themselves. That's not how they see themselves. They have enough dignity to say, I'm worth more than that. Maybe she doesn't. Sucks to suck. God, I hope I'm on a show with her one day and I could say this to her face. But what is JLo doing? I mean, if we're going to talk about people who seem to have issues with realizing their own value, we could clearly make that case if JLo is apparently not dumping A-Rod like a trash bag full of soup by the side of the road. Why would she do this? So this is some of the stuff that she has said and sources her have said. Okay. We are working through some things, they said in a joint statement obtained by People. We are working through some things. Okay. This is what a source says. Again, JLo. You guys know I've done this for a living. I would always see who a source was. It was like hairdressers, step siblings, you know, people who were like related to them, but not enough to get like a monthly allowance. So they're like super pissy about it. And the celebrities themselves or their publicist or their mouthpiece. I'm sorry, I just got my hair done and it's still in the settling phase. Anyway, they never officially broke up, but talked about it, but are still together. They hit a rough patch, but we're not broken up. Oh, and Madison had no bearing on the rough patch at all. No. She's working in the Dominican Republic. JLo is working in the Dominican Republic. She's filming a movie. And he's in Miami, so it's tough seeing each other, especially with quarantining and COVID. But they want to try to stay together. Do you know how far the Dominican is from Miami? It's about a 45-minute flight. It's not far, and I'm pretty sure they both have jets. Now, if someone was important to you and you had all the money available to you, you had all the resources, and you really weren't in a rough patch, would you get on a 45-minute fucking flight or not? Right? What does he do all day? I know he runs businesses, but he can't do that from the Dominican. Conveniently, he did make it down to the Dominican right after this scandal broke. You know how we know that? Yep, she seemed to hire some photographers. Now, she's been down there a while filming, right? Has the paparazzi ever gotten a picture of her from this balcony? No? Why do you think that is? Because the paparazzi, they're not like crows, like hiding on every branch. People think that. I mean, because that's what celebrities want you to think. Oh, they just caught me. Oh, they caught me. Oh, they caught me. Oh. I can tell you that's not true. This isn't like the early 2000s where paparazzi literally chase celebrities around. They don't do that anymore. It's too expensive. And the photos, they don't matter as much because of things like Instagram. Like people are releasing their own baby bump pictures. So it's like that aspect of the industry and that way of going about it simply doesn't exist anymore. Remember during quarantine when Ana de Armas was caught with Ben Affleck walking the dog and she was in like a full Gucci sweatsuit outfit and he looked like he just wandered out of rehab as he did. And she's like always facing the camera. She was calling the paparazzi. Celebrities do this all the time. Do you really think that in the Dominican Republic of all places, which is not exactly a celebrity hotspot, maybe like St. Bart's at New Year's Eve, Hotel de Cap in Cannes during the film festival, okay, there might be paparazzis in a boat stationed there just like, not around the clock, but a good majority of the day because they know there's going to be a bunch of celebs. You really think that people in the Dominican or a photographer from LA is just going to like camp out in a boat on a random part of the island looking at a random balcony with no knowledge of who's in there? Come on, baby. She set this up herself. Oh, I'm just candid. Oh, and she's like so demonstrative, arms out, kissing, laughing and jumping. You know, I've always thought JLo was a good actress. Maybe I've been wrong. Because this is so transparent. But again, why? Why would she do this? A woman like JLo is, at her core, she's a narcissist. I'm kind of one too. Like, I see you, girl. And hey, look, she's made it work in an incredible way. Look at her career. Look what she's achieved. Get it, girl. I don't fucking care. Be a narcissist. People like this, though, they can't lose. And when you look back on her relationships, remember that dude Casper who looked like a frog? Mm-hmm. He was caught coming out of like a gay porn parlor. She didn't dump him right away. Nope. There's some hard patches. Maybe her splitting. No. Why? She wanted to be the one to dump him. She needed to control the narrative. She wasn't going to be the one who was cheated on. She's not going to be that person. This is what's going to happen with A-Rod and JLo. Everything's going to be great. A lot of kissy things. We're going to therapy. It's been so good for us. And then hey, when's the wedding happening? Oh, we might just elope. I don't know. We're thinking about it. 3 months down the line, 2 months, maybe even 6, but probably not. It's going to be like, we've decided to part ways. We were just wedding planning and, it just didn't seem like it was important, blah, blah, blah. She's going to come up with some excuse so that she was the one who dumped him. She's going to control the narrative there. She's going to have People Magazine, Daily Mail in her pocket because she's going to promise them a tell-all interview down the line, which she's never going to give. I went through this all the time at Star. I would watch my bosses go soft on a story. Well, they're going to give us an exclusive. I'm like, how dumb are you? Kylie Jenner's not going to give us an exclusive. We had it first, before anyone, months before that Kylie was pregnant. I was like, why are we sitting on this story? Oh, because she's going to do a house tour with us. I'm like, how are you a functioning adult running a company? You are dumb. That is never going to happen, bro. Anyway, so Jennifer wants to control this narrative. We can look at this and be like, it's not embarrassing to dump a dude who cheats on you. It's exactly what you should be doing. The statement should have read, fuck that guy, I'm out. Look at me. I'm Jennifer fucking Lopez. I don't need this shit. Goodbye, hot dog. Go back to the barbecue. But then again, if you've ever been cheated on, how do you feel? Humiliated. Devastated, obviously. Foolish. I always remember the line in Love Actually where Alan Rickman, I love his voice. I'm so sad he's dead. He was cheating on Emma Thompson. And she confronts him and he's like, I'm a classic fool. And she's like, but you've made a fool of me. And the life I lead, foolish. And I thought, that's exactly it. The life I lead is foolish. Oh, that girls' trip I didn't go on so that we could save money, so that we could keep sending you to law school. Great. That was a great fucking decision. The ex I unfollowed on social media, even though there was nothing going on, because he was so upset. But meanwhile, he was getting his dick sucked by everybody. It was foolish. You feel stupid. You feel blind. You feel so embarrassed, and you just can't help but wonder, did everyone else see this but me? And this is especially true for celebrities because, there's people like me. There's people who sit and analyze celebrity relationships, and we usually can see the forest for the trees, and we can see the issues going on because we've got a bird's eye view. We're not invested. I'm the smartest woman on the planet. You guys are the smartest girls ever. So we can look at these relationships and be like, like Chloe and Tristan. Come on, man. And when you have that sort of mass I told you soing, it can be very, very difficult to be like, you guys did you tell me so. We can't even do it with our own families and our own friends, right? We can't acknowledge that. So confirmation bias kicks in. What is confirmation bias? We talked about this in terms of Kim and Kanye when he was wiling out and Kim was doubling down and defending him. And we were like, what are you doing? Look at you. Look at him. What are you doing? Confirmation bias goes to the heart of how we operate as people. Something called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, if you guys are shalligators, you know this, but for anyone new, cognitive dissonance is the reality of what's going on does not match how I feel about it. I hate this fucking job, but I have to go every day. I'm not attracted to this person, but they're my boyfriend. And now he wants to move in together. It's things don't match. And when that happens, we have to find a way out of it. Either we leave the job, we leave the man. But that's tough because that takes a lot of work, right? It's scary. We have to branch out on our own to the unknown. Or we talk ourselves into one of these scenarios. It doesn't matter that he's cheating. I love him. We're like Bonnie and Clyde. You guys just don't get it. You double down on your position so that you don't feel crazy. So that this seems like something I'm choosing. No, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. People would rather be deeply unhappy than feel like they're not in control of their life. So they're going to pretend that what's happening is exactly part of the plan. And everyone else is just like, oh my God, dude. So this is what's going on with Jennifer Lopez. She wants to control this narrative. And again, when we've been in the position of being cheated on, it's like, you get it. Then again, we as outsiders, we look at A-Rod cheating on JLo, and who is the clown in this scenario? Him. The prince of hot dogs, the wiener king. Not her. And I bet, even if you're like, no, fuck JLo. All right, you know what? Well, fuck you then. Have you ever been cheated on? Oh, you have? Well, then fuck you. Oh, wait. Well, fuck her. Well, so fuck you. So she's supposed to know better, but you're not? That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. When one of your best friends gets her heart broken, are you like, oh, yeah, fuck you? No. You're like, dude, he's the idiot. What kind of guy cheats on you? Like, what's happening? But when we're in it, that's almost an impossible position to take. Like, we know it and we're angry, but we're so embarrassed. We don't know how to reconcile these two things. And especially in the age of social media where people are going to be like, hey, you haven't posted your boyfriend in a while. And you're like, there's this pressure to make some sort of statement, right? If you're a public figure, it's not imaginary, it's real. And if you're not a public figure, well, it's like Miranda Lambert says, everyone dies famous in a small town. Like, no matter what sphere you're in, you're a public figure in that sphere. You know, your office, your small town, your church, what have you. So we've got to come up with ways to control the narrative, not feel embarrassed, and I don't want to say public opinion, but keep our good name good. Okay. First of all, who's your audience here? I bet most of you guys don't have the haters or the judgment people you think that you do. We talked before about the car of people who judge. It's this thing from when I was in high school. Like, there was this group of super popular kids and they all carpooled together. And my best friend, we were like underclassmen. My best friend, she's like, that's the car of people who judge. And I was like, oh my God, it is. And to this day, when I'm thinking about posting a thirst trap on Instagram, or if I get fired from a job or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, people are going to be so judgy and they're going to make fun of me. Do you know who I think about? I literally think about those people in that car, like those specific kids from high school. They don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about my life. They don't care what I'm doing. They're living their own lives. We're all adults. Let it go, Shallon. You know what I always go back to? You wouldn't care what people thought about you so much if you knew how seldom they did. If you knew how seldom they did. Okay, well, all right, that's fine. Now, of course, some people do think about celebrities a lot. Some people think about them too much. Some people think very bizarre things. But for the most part, in your life, the people who you're very, very worried about judging you, either A, these people aren't really thinking about you at all, or if they are, and it's like your friend, oh my God, it's like my best friend's gonna judge me. Why the fuck is she your best friend then? I mean, honestly, this really puts the rubber to the road. It's like, if this person who is supposed to pull up for you in your time of need and be there for you, but you think she's going to be twisting the knife and judging, why is she in your life in this capacity? If that's how you define a friend, girl, how do you define an enemy? That's how I define my enemies. I mean, in real life on the internet, is they are happy when something bad happens to me. They're delighted. And I'm like, I would never be confused about what side of the fence I put those people on, ever. And therefore, I'm not ever confused about how I deal with them, ever, or if they're in my life at all. So it's important to get clear about really get granular about who you're localizing this humiliation, this narrative judgment upon. But let's say it's someone in your life who was saying, this is a bad dude. I think he's cheating on you. And they weren't saying it from a place like, haha, you found out. But they're just like, oh, Kelsey, I fucking told you so. I knew it. What do you do then? How do you look those people in the face? And how do you keep them from having a ton of opinions about something that you are very raw about, that you actually don't need any fucking feedback for, that you're plenty embarrassed about, and you're trying to deal with on your own? You say exactly that. Look. You go to your friend and you say this. I understand that you told me so, okay? I'm not interested in hearing that because the behaviors that have been exhibited have told it to me already. So if you want to sit here and twist the knife and be right, I don't want to hear that, and we're not going to speak about this, okay? I need you to pull up for me like a friend, like a best friend. I feel so embarrassed. I feel so blindsided. I feel so alone. And I really don't need additional comments on that. We're closed for feedback. Let them, put it on them. How are you going to be a friend to me right now? Or are you going to be an I told you so? Because we talk about conflict and we talk about right versus happy, right? We talked about this the other day in a video. If you actually know, it was on the podcast, How to Fight Fair. Listen to the Girl on Top podcast. It's really good. It's fun. But how to fight fair. It's like, well, what's your attitude going into this? Is it collaborative? I want to be happy. I want peace. I don't want victory. Or is it the opposite? You have someone who's like, I was right. I was fucking right. You should have listened to me. I don't think that's somebody you need to keep around. But how do we deal with this in like a public way, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever? I believe in, if you're going to speak on something, speak the truth. I fall like a thunderbolt, like Sun Tzu says. I speak on something once, I hit it hard, and I don't keep bringing it up, right? If you're going to say something, if people are like, wait, haven't you posted Brad? Like, where's your boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. Put an Instagram story. Hey guys, I discovered that Brad was a duplicitous person. You can be as forthcoming or not. He was cheating on me. I don't tolerate that in my life. I have more self-respect for myself, or more respect for myself. So we've broken up, and I've moved on. So we don't need to talk about it anymore. If you think that's needs to be said, you say it fast, hard, simple. Never speak on it again. Never speak on it again. But it's hard to even say he was cheating on me, right? It's embarrassing. I have skirted around that with my exes when I've talked to you guys about my exes, because yeah, it's embarrassing. And people who hate me are gonna be like, yeah, someone cheated on her. Someone cheated on fucking Jennifer Lopez, okay? It's not women's fault. Let's talk about cheating. Because when we get cheated on, or when we see someone cheat on, it's like, Let's say someone is a shitty girlfriend, just a trash heap of a person emotionally. The consequence of that is they get dumped. Not that they get cheated on. Not that they get cheated on. I had a friend one time and her boyfriend dumped her. She's like, why? Oh no, I'm sorry. No, he cheated on her. And she's like, why? And I'm like, it's like, you were a really shitty girlfriend. You were mean to him. You weren't there for him. You manipulated him and gaslit him. But look, the consequence of that should have been he dumped you. It should not have been that he cheated. That's never the appropriate consequence for someone who sucks. The consequence is just leaving. And if someone doesn't do that, they're just an asshole. So why would you be embarrassed by someone else's emotional shortcomings? You didn't do that. Someone cheated on Giselle, on Beyonce, on me, on JLo. And yes, of course I put myself in that category. And you should put yourself in the category of those women too. Don't people know who you are? Come on. So we don't look at those women and think they just weren't doing enough. I bet if they were 10 pounds lighter, that wouldn't have happened. So why are we saying stuff like that to ourselves? We need to get granular about who's actually talking trash about us, because it probably isn't anyone. And if it is, fuck those people. Fuck those people. Fuck people who throw salt in your wounds. Whether you know them, whether they're trolls on the internet, what fucking trash heaps those are. I bet those are the people who watch the Olympics and like, okay, triple axel, whatever. Or look at Rihanna, it's like, her forehead's too big. Interesting. Okay. But let's say the enemy you're fighting is your ex-boyfriend. Men love to run their fucking mouths, don't they? Right? And I get a lot of questions from you guys, like, we broke up and he's talking trash about me and he's like DMing my friends and she's a bitch and blah, blah, blah. What do I do? How do I combat this? Usually, you just need to give people enough rope so that they hang themselves. Assholes talk themselves into the grave very, very quickly. And assholes are also stupid and they don't know when to stop. We talked about this last video with Cardi and Candace Owens. And I said, had Cardi stopped at the tweet where it's like, yay, we made Fox News. Thanks for the streams, Candy. And Candace would have responded and Cardi would have said nothing. Candace probably would have kept responding to get a reaction. And Cardi would have looked like the winner. She spoke first. She spoke hard, fast, moved on, never spoke of it again. Right? But she didn't do that. She actually tweeted that, and then another, and another, and another, and another. And then Candace came back. She's like, what is going on? Candace, she looked so much more controlled in that scenario. Cardi looked really, really heated. And it culminated with Cardi like kind of shitting the bed from an argumentative standpoint and like posting. It just went bad. But it's like if she'd spoken once, said her piece, never spoke on it again, usually your enemy is going to keep talking. And then they look like the fool because it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. You may go now. They're just like talking to themselves. They're screaming into a void. No one is listening to them. So if you're dealing with an ex who won't let it go and you think he's running your name through the mud, I swear to God, this is the long con. You know I play long cons, and there is nothing harder than the long con. You know who reacts instantly? Animals. I don't do that. Oh, I'm an animal, all right. I'm a top of the food chain apex predator, but I'm clever. And you guys are too. When we let people just run, they will eventually say something that will humiliate them because they're going to get desperate for attention. And when people get desperate, they lie. They'll say anything. Look at Cardi tweeting that Photoshop tweet about Candace's like brother and husband, which she took down. And Candace is like, I don't give a shit if you took it down. We're going to court. And I believe her. She seems like when she gets her teeth into something, she does not let it go. But that's how desperate Cardi got to win this argument and get attention. She was willing to say anything. Your ex will be willing to say anything too. And people are going to start to watch him. Initially, this is how it's going to go. Initially, people might be like, yeah, oh my God, Kelsey was such a stupid bitch for sure. And then it's like he's going to get crazier. He's going to get emboldened by that feedback. Yeah, and then she's a smelly vagina. And people are going to be like, dude, don't say things like that. That's real. Why would you say something like that? And he's going to be like, well, I don't know. He's not going to have any excuse. Cardi didn't have any excuse. Like there was nothing to say because it was a low blow that only made him look bad. That'll only make the boyfriend look bad, right? You, meanwhile, unbothered. You can put out that one statement. Tyler and I broke up because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. That's it. I mean, don't say that. Like say something classier. But like still like hints around and you move on. And we think, no, I have to like twist the knife. I have to like make him see. What is crueler than denying a desperate person the thing that they're desperate for? That is the definition of cruelty. Starving a prisoner, not throwing someone a life raft. Is that not punitive and cruel? Right? It's psychotic. Exactly. Sometimes that's exactly the recipe. This person is desperate for your attention. They're desperate to feel like an equal to you. They're desperate to see you suffer. What would kill them more and slowly than denying that fire of oxygen? It's the long game. And it takes self-control. I will not tell you it doesn't. It does. It's brutal. But again, you're going to watch them devolve. And all the while, your reputation might start low because they're talking, she fucked the whole lacrosse team. And then he's going to say more things and more things and more things. And people are going to start to look at him and be like, you can't believe anything out of that motherfucker's mouth. He sounds insane. He won't let it go. Kelsey's already over it. She hasn't spoken about this. Like she said it. She's moving on. She's living her best life, posting pictures from South Padre Island, whatever. And he's like stuck here. It's like, oh, but I'm the bad guy. You're unbothered and you're just so over it. That's why you never shut up about it. Interesting. So sometimes we just have to give people, like I said, enough rope to hang themselves. Almost always they do. And even if not, even if people take his side, fuck those people. Those people weren't for you. Let them go. They were fakes. I'd rather have one real person in my life than 100 fakes any day of the week. And you expel those fakes by being real yourself, by being true, by refusing to bow to this truly self-created humiliation you feel. I mean, of course the guy created it, but you're the one adding that story to it. Pain is, he cheated on me. Suffering? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Suffering is, he cheated on me because I'm 10 pounds overweight and no one's ever going to love me again. It's the story you apply to it. So stop applying that story. Just grieve the way you would if it was a death. And then you can start to process and move on. Because look, like I said, even if people side with him, refusing to engage with this, the wound starts to heal. You're never going to feel better if you keep yanking out the stitches. You can't find healing in the same place you got hurt. Not for very long. Disengage. Say your piece if you feel like you need to, or deal with it privately and say nothing. And this other person, whether it's actually a person, your ex, or a sister-in-law who is telling you something, or simply your own idea of your role in this and the suffering story you've applied to it, it will begin to dissipate. And then you can come out of this smarter, Shallon. Oh, okay. Seriously, man. You didn't get out of that relationship. You graduated from that relationship. When we can do the work and learn about why something happened, what went wrong, what were the red flags we ignored? What story were we telling ourselves to stay in this relationship with a guy who was being duplicitous, wasn't making us happy? Very few of us are truly, truly blindsided by cheating. When we look back and we're being honest, it's like, there were signs. We maybe didn't know that that was going on, but we knew there was a monster under the bed. What was it? And we didn't look right at it. We didn't throw a light on it. Why? What was the fear story? Well, I can't leave. I've wasted this much time. I'm too old to start over. No one's ever going to find me attractive with these stretch marks. Bitch. Damn it. No. Look at those fear stories. Grow from them. Because right now, this embarrassment, it's just a start happy, end sad bullshit story. It's just a sad ass story with a bad ending. And how do we swallow that? How do we deal with that? But when we can learn from something, we can say, okay, this is painful, but here's how I grew. Here's how actually I'm smarter. I'm more confident in my resilience. I'm wiser. I know more about what I will and won't accept, red flags that are red flags. Suddenly, that's not a happy to sad story. It's a sad to happy story. It is a chapter in a larger story of a champion, a bad bitch, a warrior, an alpha female, someone who has turned a setback into a setup. Every good story has rising and falling action. Okay, well, that was the falling action. What's the rising? That's up to you to write. Not your ex, not your friends, not people on the internet. That's up to you. And when you write that, you don't have a problem being like, yeah, my ex cheated on me. Yeah, I've said that recently. I don't want to get too specific because, I'm not trying to shame other people. I'm not. I don't need to because I've learned from it. I have no more malice in my heart about it. That took a while. And it took longer than it needed to because I just would not look at the lessons. I wouldn't. It was too painful and I felt too embarrassed. But what is more embarrassing than not learning from your mistakes? Do you still touch a hot stove like you did when you were 3? No, right? You learn from those mistakes. Let's learn from these. And when you were 3, you probably weren't embarrassed about doing that. You're just like, oh, there was no suffering. There was just pain. You didn't just, I'm so stupid, chicky tendies. You're just like, that was a dumb idea. We're not going to do that again. And you didn't. Don't add on to your suffering. Add on to your growth. I want to know what y'all have to say about JLo and A-Rod, whatever the fuck. I don't even know anymore. And do you think it's going to go like I think it will, where she's going to wait an acceptable amount of time and then somehow they're going to break up and she's going to look, it's going to be so amicable. Oh my God, Jen, just get out. Just get out, girl. Just get out. Come date literally anyone. Me, I will treat you so right. I will not steal your La Mer face cream. I don't even like it. I find it greasy. So we are good there. We probably have different shoe sizes. I won't steal your shoes either. I will just adore you. For more, click like and subscribe. We're going to be back tomorrow with a video on Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber's relationship. She's been opening up and giving some interviews, and we're going to talk about how to keep a relationship private when people have a lot of opinions. So it's sort of related to this, how we can insulate ourselves from those I told you so's before something bad ever even happens, and protect and honor the peace and the privacy of our relationships. I'll see you later, Shalligators.